And your son is?
Connor.
Connor. How old's Connor?
Connor's 6.
Connor's 6. When did this all start for you?
Connor, at the age of 3, we started noticing that he wasn't speaking. He had limited eye contact. He had a hard time socializing, along with a really hard time of transitioning, just going through like daily transitions of whether it's putting on, getting clothes on and then going to eat breakfast, or going from the house to a different activity and then switching that activity to go to something else. He was really focused on like his preferred activity, and that's what he'd want to stick to.
Don't change it.
Yeah, don't change it. Exactly. Don't change anything.
So when you noticed that, when you started, what was your feelings? What went through? I mean, did you first think to something, oh, he'll outgrow this, or how did that thought process work?
I wasn't sure. Like, it was a scary feeling of, it was an uncharted territory of like, how am I going to navigate this whole process? And like, yeah, am I worried? Like, he's only 3. Like, that was a worry thing, but it's like, is he a boy? Is this something that he was going to outgrow? Exactly. You weren't for sure. But it was more or less like, once we got into seeing some specialists, and it was like, there's some things that he's not on like the typical developing child side. Like, there are some things, there's some red flags that we need to look into about. So
how are things now?
Really good. And here I'm going to cry because the past like 3 years have been a huge journey. It was an overwhelming process in the beginning to think that, you have this little boy and you're so excited about their whole life of what they're going to do. You have everything planned out. And, sorry.
That's okay.
When you think about it, it's just, you don't know what the whole future is going to hold. And so now, being with Easter Seals, like, it's been amazing to see. Now I'm like seeing that he's going to hit goals. He's going to be, now he's talking, he's interacting with peers, he's talking more, like speaking full sentences. Like, those were things that we weren't for sure that was going to happen. So it's exciting to see where the journey is going to go. I
was going to say, I'm not trying to make you cry.
No.
Yeah, and take a break if you need to.
Yeah. When you first find out, you first hear the word autism, okay? I'm sure that has to be a shock, because there's all this, like me, I have no idea what it is that you're going through. I can't put myself there. But when you hear that, you first heard that, there had to have been that kind of initial shock, like, oh gosh, now what happens, right?
Exactly, and that's what I was saying. Like, when you have a child, you don't want to hear anything bad about that child. You want everything to be hunky-dory and perfect, and you get so excited about what the journey's going to hold, but then when you hear the word autism, something that's not with a typical developing child, it's like, oh my gosh, like something's wrong, or what did I do wrong? Or you just have this overwhelming feeling of like, the word is in general like an overwhelming thing. Sorry, can I?
No, you're okay. You're okay.
I'm trying to put it in words, but yeah, it's hard. It's hard to process of like what to do. What's our next step? Where's the journey going to go? How are we going to navigate this? Is he going to do the things that other kids are doing? And is he going to be included? You don't want him to have any hardships, and that's what I fear the most, of just the differences.
How did you deal with whatever Connor was going through when you were out in public?
I just blocked out everybody else and I focused on him.
Okay.
And what I learned was just getting on his eye level and just really trying to like give him some squeezes. He loves to be touched and just be held or just hugged. And I love that about him. He, and once you can get him just to like kind of recenter, then he can kind of be redirected easier. But I just had to tune out everybody else, because everybody else doesn't matter. All that mattered was that little boy and making him just feel grounded again.